Welcome back into the Sunday Spread. Devan, Kaney, Barrett Brooks, Kenny Henderson, our producer, joining us. Sean Bell ditched us this week. He's on vacation or something. I don't know. And his loss, because it's an exciting week in sports. We've got the NFL schedule release. We're going to break it all down, continue to break that down, especially with the Bears and the Eagles. And then we're going to get into NBA playoffs because there's a lot to discuss there. But let's dive into the Eagles 2025, I was about to say 2024, NFL schedule. We're going to go game by game, you, me, and Kenny Barrett, decide what the Eagles record's going to be. And then we're going to do it with the Bears. You ready?
Let's go.
All right.
Let's do it.
Thursday night football, Cowboys at Eagles. Do I get to do this too, right? Because I'm going with a win for this one.
Of course.
For the Eagles.
Yeah, there's three of us. Yeah, there's three of us making a pick. So we'll have a tiebreaker for each game.
I'm going with a win. This one's a victory for me.
And me, Dallas hatred. Of course, I'm going with the win.
Yeah, Eagles roll 1-0.
All right. Eagles at Chiefs.
You guys are going to be mad at me for this.
A loss.
But I'm going with a loss. They're playing in Arrowhead, and I'm going to tell you what, Arrowhead is the loudest outside place you can play in. The loudest non-dome place you can play is with the Chiefs, and I'll tell you what, when they sing the national, in the home of the Chiefs, you can feel it rumbling in your chest when you're a player.
And they're going to be big mad.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be big mad, those fans. And I think a lot of, like what Landon Dickerson said in his Super Bowl speech at the parade, he said, I've never played an away game in my effing career because Eagles fans travel really well. I think Arrowhead is a stadium where I think Eagles fans will still travel, but like you mentioned, Barrett, it's loud and their fans are going to be big mad. I'm going with a loss as well, but mostly because week 2, I think it's just a really tough spot. Week 2, I feel like, teams will get up and prepare and focus, throughout preseason, of course, on the whole season, but that first game of the season is always, front and center. And then week 2 kind of comes around and you're still not fully there mentally or physically. You're still kind of gearing
don't play
up.
Either in the preseason.
Right. And most starters don't play in the preseason. And you're tired from week 1, and I just think it's a tough spot, and especially when you're playing in a loud, hostile environment like Arrowhead. So I'm unfortunately going with a loss for this one. Kenny?
Not even giving me the opportunity to have the tiebreaker here, so
sorry.
I'll agree with you guys. It's fine. I'll agree with you guys. I'm surprised Devan's saying that. I thought Devan was going to have him going 17-0.
I'm realistic, okay? I'm realistic.
You just talked about Lane. You see what Lane tweeted right after he saw it?
What?
17-0.
Really?
He tweeted that immediately after the came out.
That's funny. All right, so unfortunately a loss for week 2. Rams at Eagles. Eagles win.
I'm going with the same thing. Eagles win. I think that they talk too much stuff, and they'll be ready to rock and roll against this Rams team that, like I said, are talking way too much. Even when they got Devontae Adams with it and Puka Nacua, that's pretty good, 2 starting receivers, one of the best in the league as far as when you kind of compare it to the rest of the team. And then you said Tutu Atwell, he's a really good receiver. I think they'll be okay. I still think they lose because they run their mouth too much. So to me, the Rams are going to lose. Birds win.
Kenny?
Yeah. I mean, we saw what Saquon did to them twice last year. I know the defense for the Rams is really good, but still, Eagles win at home.
Yes. Eagles at Bucks. It's a loss because I hate when the Eagles have to go to Tampa. They always lose and lose big. I feel like they always lose by 10 or more points, and it's hot and it's humid. I think the last time they played down there last season, around a similar time, they played down there early in the season. They had players getting IVs and puking because it was 99 degrees and 100% humidity. So that's certainly a factor, and just something about that Bucks team is the Eagles, this era of the Eagles kryptonite.
Yeah.
And I guess previous eras, but whatever.
They're the thorn in my side.
I'm going with a loss.
And I'm also going with a loss. So everybody's like, oh. Like I said, I got to be truthful with my gut. I got a pretty big gut. It's usually right. And I'm going to say that it's going to be a loss for the Bucks. So.
Oh, wait, a loss for the Bucks?
I'm sorry, loss for the Eagles. Bucks win, loss for the Eagles. I'm sorry.
Kenny, what about you?
Yeah. Yeah, I gotta agree with you guys as Eagles fans being in Philly. You guys know better than me how this Bucs team owns the Eagles. I could just see it too. The fact that it's in Tampa, if we were in Philly, maybe talking a little bit different. But
Yeah.
I'll agree with you guys here.
Yeah, I think if it was
2-2
in
for the Super Bowl
Philly,
champs.
I know. Well, they never start the season off too hot because
Well, they were 2-2 last year, right?
Yeah. And then they had the week 5 bye, and that's when they really turned it around.
They really took off then.
All right. Sorry, let's move through this quicker. Broncos at Eagles win.
I'm sorry to say it. I said it. The Eagles will be 2-3.
Wow.
Week 5, 2-3.
Kenny, you're the tiebreaker.
I'm gonna say win, especially because it's at home. Bo Nix is going in there and beating the Eagles. I don't know about that.
No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But
no chance.
They've got a pretty good thing going on down in the Midwest with the Broncos, and I like their head coach, man. He was actually my he was my quarterback coach when I was
Sean Payton was.
Yeah, Payton was my quarterback coach here in Philadelphia when I first got to Philly, when I first drafted. Yeah, so me and Sean are like this, and he's gonna rally those guys, and Bo Nix has been balling, so I can't say that I won't be biased. It's not a bias. I think they're a complete team. Their defense is really good. Really
all right.
Good. So 3-5. 2-3 right now over 5 games. Oof. That's
well, the show has 3-2 because I was the tiebreaker. So
yeah,
they're actually 3-2.
Barrett is going with a losing record. We're going.
Let's snap to reality, Barrett.
All right,
Eagles will be over 500.
All right, Eagles at Giants. I hate playing MetLife because their turf stinks, but Eagles win.
I'm saying Eagles win also. And you know what's bad? Back in the day when I first retired, I used to sell synthetic turf fields.
Ooh.
And I actually was a part of the deal that, sold them.
No. So do you have like a guilty conscience whenever a player goes down?
I do. I really
You're
do.
like, oh man.
This is a long time ago. I retired in
1% responsible. For that.
And I worked for him it was like 2009 when I worked for that turf company, and I was a part of the deal that got it done. But hey, I'm saying they're gonna beat the Giants.
All right, Eagles at Vikings. I really don't. We'll get into this more as the regular season gets closer. I don't know what to make the Minnesota Vikings this season. I really don't.
Yeah.
I don't think they do. But because of that, I'm gonna go Eagles.
Oh, it's gonna be an easy win for the Eagles too. They don't know what they're doing, so why would we think that they will be all right? I think that Eagles win. Eagles win convincingly because they don't even know who their quarterbacks. Well, they're going with a quarterback that's untested, and that's number one. So, J.J. McCarthy was out a whole season. You'll be able to look at it, but I still see it as a loss. And the defense is going to be pretty good, but it's still a loss. Eagles win.
Kenny?
Yeah, I will say this. Minnesota is one of the hardest places to play, and when they're good, it's even harder. So I don't know if they're going to be good because I don't know if McCarthy's going to be good, but that roster is good. They're coached well. I'm going to agree with you guys, say Eagles win. They're the better team, especially with not knowing what McCarthy's going to be. But I will say that that's going to be a hard game for the Eagles to go in there, especially if the Vikings are playing good football and win, just because it's a hard place to play. Their home field advantage is awesome.
Giants at Eagles. Do we even need to discuss this?
No.
Eagles win?
Yeah, it's a sweep. It's a sweep.
Yeah, I think we got them 6-2 heading into the bye.
6-2 heading in the bye. They have a week 9 bye, which is like kind of halfway. I'm fine with it.
Me too.
Yeah. I think it's like a decent place to.
So that means they have 2 byes in a row because that Giants game is a bye. So they'll have 8 and 9 weeks, 8 and 9 of byes.
There you go. And then they travel to Green Bay,
Ooh.
the Lambeau.
Monday Night Football.
I still think that Green Bay is overrated.
Yes.
I'm going with an Eagles win.
I'm going with Eagles win also.
And I think Nick Sirianni, he's either undefeated or he has a really good record coming off of the bye, similar to Andy Reid. So they always typically do well coming off of a week off.
And I'm going to say this. We're going to tush push the first 10 plays because you guys try us, even though you guys ran it twice. The Packers ran it twice in that playoff game, and then they're going to cry about it? Come on now. You're going to run the same play twice, but then you're going to say, oh, this is an unfair advantage. Yeah, so we're going to run tush push the first 10 plays, go down the score with the tush push. That's this wishful thinking to me. But yeah, it's a win easy, Packers. Packers are going to lose easily.
Kenny?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with you guys here. I'm gonna go with the Eagles, but I will say this: I kind of had to defend Minnesota a little bit. I'm defending the Bears rivals because I know how hard it is to play them. Lambeau, another hard place to play, and the Packers are overrated when it comes to playing good teams. But what they do is they take care of business against the bad teams. That's why they play in the playoffs every year. So I'll agree with you guys. Eagles win, but not going to be an easy game.
All right, Lions at Eagles. I don't know.
Whew.
I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I think it's no. I know it's gonna be a win just because they thought it was gonna be a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
NFC Championship.
When Jared Goff doesn't play well outside.
Well, I mean, it's what it is. Also, they got a new offensive coordinator. The defensive coordinator is a guy that was already there. He was under tutelage of and how I feel about Aaron Glenn as a defensive coordinator. And he's a disciple of Aaron Glenn. So I don't think even though they're getting Aiden Hutchinson back, I just don't see them being a team that could really match up against this Eagles. The Eagles still have the number one team in the NFL, and I'm going with a win with the Eagles.
Kenny?
Because it's in Philly, I'll agree with Barrett. Eagles win. But that's going to be a great game, especially if it's not too full for Goff.
Great game.
Sunday Night Football, too. Yeah.
Yeah. Eagles at Cowboys. Typically, I mean, last year they swept the Cowboys, but the Eagles haven't played well down in Jerry World. So I'm actually going to go with a loss here because they typically split with the Cowboys. So if they beat them at home week 1, I'm going to put this one down for a loss.
Sweep. Eagles sweep the Dallas Cowboys again, even with Dak Prescott playing both times. In fact, you look at Dak Prescott, the last, I think it's 9 games they played. He's won 4 of them. He's only played 4 games against Jalen Hurts. Last 8 or 9 times they played each other.
Yeah.
But I still think that they're gonna beat up on it. They're just a better team, a superior team to this Cowboy team, and sweep. So right now I'm sweeping the division so far. Eagles gonna sweep the division so far. So we'll see.
Kenny?
Yeah, I agree with Barrett. 9-2 Eagles.
All right, we are in the back half of the schedule, and the Eagles have yet to play the Commanders. But next week, the week after the Cowboys, the Bears come to town. Kenny's Chicago Bears.
10-2. Move on.
Even though
don't even need to talk about it.
Even though they're my sexy pick for the year, you know what I'm saying? I still think
the
lose to the Eagles.
If it was in Chicago, because it is the end of November.
If it was on the moon, it wouldn't matter.
Love the optimism. Eagles at Chargers. Eagles win. I think the Chargers will be a winning team.
Yep.
But I just think that if they're a similar team to what they were last season, I think the Eagles defense is going to eat Justin Herbert up.
Yes. So. I don't think they got enough weapons for Herbert.
Yeah.
On the receiver
they
side,
do not have enough firepower.
Yeah. Running backs, they're pretty good. Offensive line, they're really good, but I don't think their defense can stop the Eagles, and I don't think offensively they have enough on the outside to be a threat for the Eagles. So they just load the box and play them man-to-man on the outside because I think our corners are good enough to do that. So
Raiders at Eagles, another team that I'm not entirely sure what to make of yet.
I hope they beat because Chip Kelly's the offensive coordinator.
I'm sorry. Right.
I said it out loud too. I'm sorry.
He moves around. No, I don't. Yeah, Chip Kelly. We do not like Chip Kelly here.
No, absolutely.
He's like
not.
It's like saying Voldemort. I'm gonna go with an Eagles win though. Barrett, win for you, Kenny.
Yeah, we win easily. Raiders. Even though they got a really good running back.
I like the Raiders. I like the additions that they made to their roster with Geno and Carroll now. I think they're going to be super competitive this season, but they're not beating the Eagles in Philly.
Yeah.
I think we got them at 12-2 right now, heading into their final 3.
There we go.
Eagles at Commanders. So Eagles play the Commanders twice in their final 3 games. This has the potential to be a really big game just for NFC East standings, depending on how both seasons go.
NFC period.
It's going to be a tough one.
Yeah.
It's going to be a tough one, but I'm going to go with Eagles because I have to.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I think this is another instance where a lot of defensive coordinators have a lot of film now on Jaden Daniels. Mm-hmm. So because of that, he won't be able to do the same things he had last year, but it won't be the same team because he now has a little more firepower, a little more protection on the offensive line, just a little bit better, while the Eagles, I think, stayed at a level, and they're just higher than this Commanders team. So I just think it's another win.
Kenny?
Yeah, let's say so that we have 3 games left to predict. I personally think they split against the Commanders. I don't know which one they win, which one they lose. I mean, we have them at 12-2 now. So if they were to win this one, they're probably sitting their starters in Week 18 because they've got the 1 seed locked up. So I think they split against the Commanders. It's just a matter of, do you guys think they beat Buffalo as well?
You know what? I don't think so. I mean, I think that's the only other loss they have. I have them, at 13-4 this season. I think the Bills are the only team that they really have a shot. They have a shot of beating them. And I think they may sit there. In fact, they may win it.
It depends how consequential that game is, and it also depends on the weather up in Buffalo. I really hate. I wish that the Tampa and Buffalo game were swapped for the Eagles. Like, can we do that? December 28th in Buffalo. That's unnecessary. But I agree. I do think they split with the Commanders. I don't know which one though, and it depends like how important those.
If anything, I think it's gonna be the last one.
13-4.
13-4. Yep. I will take it for it is going to be a really tough year. All right. We are going to take a break, and then we're going to touch, a little bit more on the NFL. We're going to touch on NBA playoffs and some more coming up next.
Pretty good.